The hanging huntsman. Leaves crackled under their feet as the two boys made their way deeper and deeper into the woods. The trees pressed closer now as they moved, significantly distant from the nearest clearing. Jack strained his eyes for a streak of white. They had lost sight of the rabbit minutes ago, and when Billy thought he had seen something, they had chased it until he lost sight of it again. Jack doubted Billy had ever even seen it. The sun was beginning to dip below the horizon as the two boys continued to plunge into the forest. There was a scuttle through the floor of the woods. Both boys snapped their neck at the sound. "What was that?" Jack cried, his voice soaked with unspoken fear. "I don't know. I'm scared, Jack. Let's go home." Jack looked through the gathering darkness at what he couldn't see. He idly pushed aside a low-hanging branch with his stick. Up in the tree somewhere, a bird broke into song. "Shut up," he said to Billy. He was beginning to get irritated. They continued in silence, deeper and deeper into the woods. Jack swung the stick again, thinking about the rabbit they were chasing. The wily animal had led them all the way there, hopping on its hind legs in little bursts until it went out of sight. Jack had never seen this type of rabbit before, pearly white fur with intense red eyes. The two boys had spent the whole morning playing swords at the edge of the forest. Jack had won most of their bouts. He had knocked Billy down, and it was when the plump boy was struggling to get up that they noticed the rabbit beneath a shrub. It was munching away at a leaf. It was bigger than any they had ever seen. "Let's catch it," Billy had said. It scuttled away when it saw them coming. "We really can't be here when it gets dark. My mom says there's a man, a scary man, and he lives here. People that see him in this forest don't come back. They call him the Hanging Huntsman." Jack felt compelled to hit Billy with the stick in his hand. He settled with clenching it tighter and gritting his teeth. "If you want to go home, Billy, go. But if you're going to stay, then shut up. I'm tired of your ghost stories." At that, a crackle of thunder ripped through the atmosphere. The resulting boom was deafening, and the rumbling resonated deep within Jack's chest. Billy let out a high-pitched whimper. I told you he is real. I want to go home." He was shouting now. "I want to go home." The stick landed on Billy's head with a crack. He whimpered excessively. As Jack turned to face the heart of the forest, he thought about giving in to his partner's cowardice, but that would mean going home and going back to Pa, Sam, and his erratic mood swings. Even a phony haunted forest sounded like a better proposition than that. There was a sound behind them, the sharp crack of a twig. They turned to face it. In front of them was a tall figure, very tall. He seemed unable to balance on his long spindly legs, as if he could fall at any moment. Jack noticed his skin. It was pale, with a sick unhealthy pallor to it. It was stretched taut over his bones. His face was like a mask, expressionless. His dark eyes were fixed at a point beyond them, off into the distance, somewhere deep in the forest. They were as if two pits sunk into his gaunt face. Billy whimpered again, but now tears began to stream from his eyes. The figure's eyes snapped to them. He seemed only to notice them for the first time. "Children," he exclaimed. He took an awkward step towards them. The forest floor crunched under him. It was the only sound that filled the ear. The birds in the treetops sang no more. Jack and Billy took a reflexive step back. "The night comes. We must leave now, children," the man said. His voice was thin and hoarse. It came out forced, just at the edge of hearing. "It is dangerous in this forest at night. Come with me. We must not stay here alone." He held out his hand. His fingers were long and spindly, interspersed with black veins. Something about this man made Jack want to run away and never look back. "We can find our way back on our own," Billy whimpered. He did not seem to hear. His hand remained outstretched. "Come with me," he said again. "No one must be in the forest by dark." He paused and took a measure of them with his eyes, especially not children. Jack did not want to go, but he felt his resistance melting. Without knowing it, his arm moved on its own. He tried and failed to stop it. He turned to Billy in desperation, but his friend was long gone. Billy's face appeared paralyzed in perpetual terror. He wasn't even blinking. The man's hand was cold. Jack felt the warmth suck out of his body. The tall man continued to watch him with those dark, sad eyes as he looked up at the sky. "We must go now, child." What about Billy?" Jack stuttered. "He will follow us. Now come." Jack couldn't stop himself from moving. One leg moved in front of the other and then again. The man walked alongside him in his awkward long-legged gait. They walked past Billy, going into the heart of the woods. The wrong way. Jack could feel all voluntary control leaving his body. It was getting dark. He looked around, desperate for a way out, any way out. The man gripped tighter on his hand. Jack had never felt anything as cold. It was when the last rays of light had disappeared behind the trees that Jack looked up at the man. He saw it clear as day. It was unmistakable. Jack observed the mutilated, bloody outline of a noose branded around the tall man's neck illuminating in the moonlight. Jack's heart sank, realizing what was happening, and the thought of what is to come. As Jack's eyes slowly drooped into a dark abyss, the sound of Billy's feet shuffling through the forest floor trailed behind them, filling his ears, while he drifted off into slumber. He knew he would never return. Hours later, the sheriff sent a search team to look for the boys, but no one ever heard from Kirby and Billy Davies ever again.